Hello there. All right, you might want to save this if you can save this, because I am sharing a lot of good information. Now, I told you last week that my plan is to basically walk you through what I'm doing right now for my own healthcare, my deep dive. You know, they say that, what is it? Like the shoemaker's kids had no shoes, right? So I've been putting myself on the back burner, and I'll tell you, I've been feeling it, because even something as simple as I ran out of my magnesium a few weeks ago, and it's one of those things that I have just been forgetting to order, and I'm starting to feel it. So it's kind of crazy how I am tying everything into this hair tissue mineral analysis test. It is mind-blowing. Hey, C. Totally mind-blowing. So I have, been feeling off. If you know me, if you've been following me, it's been a crazy year and a half. Starting 2 businesses, creating all these programs, working with amazing patients. It is the best thing I've ever done, but that doesn't mean that it's not stressful, right? And I deal with this a lot in my programs and my patients and clients alike. Stress is one of those things that I think people think, oh, I don't feel stressed. You think it's something that you have to feel, like you have to be, really crazy, like literally running from the bear. But even when things are going well and you're busy, that is stressful. When you are constantly going at a high pace, that is stressful to your body. This is why it's so important to not push through and listen to your body. So, I have been feeling like a low-key wired vibe, like not really burned out, but just sometimes on edge. And my muscles lately, the last few weeks, have been just feeling like you kind of feel that cortisol surge running through you, And it dawned on me today that I have not been taking my magnesium. And, let's rewind. I'm a fan of magnesium for regularity. Now, great, not having a problem, right? But what magnesium really does is calm everything, calms the smooth muscle. And we kind of forget everything that all these little minerals do. And when you're missing one or they're out of balance, you start to feel it. So now I showed this to you last week. I think I have a bug. Showed this to you last week. My sodium on my mineral analysis test is through the roof. And the first thing that is going to come to mind is, well, too much salt in your diet. Well, not even close. Not even close. So it is, sodium that high is a red flag that your adrenals are in overdrive. So it's stress. And again, not that I'm feeling stressed in a negative kind of way, but I've been on the go literally for a year and a half, constantly doing something, not unwinding, and my minerals are showing it in my sodium just being raging and screaming. And now that I haven't been taking magnesium, I am really, really feeling it. So my magnesium's tanked, my sodium is elevated, my nervous system is just stressing out, and cortisol is raging because of this imbalance. So, magnesium is that chill. It's kind of like magnesium for minerals is similar to progesterone and hormones. It gives you that chill effect without, without really kind of feeling tired or anything in a bad way. So you can feel these cortisol symptoms anxiety, the muscle tightness, disrupted sleep, and that's been happening recently. And even if your labs are normal, because again, on a cellular level, in blood, minerals can be perfectly fine, but on a cellular level, and that's what I'm feeling now, the not having the magnesium for a few weeks, it just goes off balance. And I'm shocked at how quickly it goes off balance. And we're talking a domino effect. I say this all the time when I talk about hormones. We always refer to hormones as a cascade. So you talk, the insulin cascade, the hormone cascade, because one sets off another. If one's out of balance, another one's going to be out of balance. That's pretty much how minerals work as well. One being out of balance sets off the cascade. Hey, Kim, sets off the cascade. We don't want that. We don't want that first domino to tip over. So again, it's like the seesaw. If you have a big kid, if mom's on the seesaw with a 2-year-old, who's winning? Mom. So we want the balance. So sodium is one that just trips people up because, like I said, the first thing people think of is, oh, well, you're eating too much salt. Your sodium's too high. And again, that's not the case. It's the adrenals. It's your body pumping out cortisol and the adrenal-like reaction, the fight or flight. So table salt and salty foods can influence this test result a little bit, but that is not how you get it so out of whack. It's also electrolytes, right? So when things are out of balance, how can I explain it? You need certain minerals to let your cells absorb into the minerals or into the cell. So you've got like the minerals being on the outside, you need a certain mineral that's going to pull it into the cell. And when things are off, we have a major imbalance. So with calcium, as I mentioned last week, with calcium, you can have high calcium, and especially in perimenopause or menopausal women who start to have osteoporosis, the first thing that provider does is say, oh, we're going to start you on calcium. Well, if you keep piling on the calcium, you end up with a calcium shell. You need phosphorus and magnesium and other elements to break down that calcium shell so your bones and muscles can absorb it. Otherwise, it's like an armor. And we see this a lot in hormones. Again, there are so many parallels to minerals and hormones and everything that has to be balanced. So when you have too much, we're going to say testosterone, because I've been dealing with this a lot lately as well. You have a high level of testosterone, and that's the only lab they do, then they say to the guy, oh, you're fine, no problem at all, you've got plenty of testosterone, we don't need to do anything about it. What they're not doing is they're not doing a sex hormone binding globulin, and if that is elevated, you're not freeing up testosterone. So what happens is you have a lot of bound up testosterone. So the number looks high, looks good on paper, but you don't have enough free testosterone. So this is what happens when you supplement unknowingly and blindly with calcium for someone for osteoporosis. And you see, now mine is not that bad, but mine's a little bit elevated. The calcium is right here, the first one. So it's a little bit elevated. It's beyond, it's higher than we want it to be. And that is that calcium shell starting to build up. So that is showing me that I have a lot of calcium, but I'm not putting it to good use. Just like the person who has high testosterone, but feels tired and has achy muscles and can't recover from exercise because all of that testosterone is bound up. We have this with thyroid hormone also. So it is never as simple as one test, one mineral, or one hormone, because that's why we need to get enough. We need to get enough of the related labs to see, do we have enough of this freed up? Are we using the mineral and the hormone properly? Because if we're not, then don't supplement. Someone who has this high calcium shell is not using their calcium, so you might as well be throwing that supplement in the garbage, because it's making your situation worse, not better. It's certainly not making your bones stronger. So if this doesn't just solidify my need to test things and not guess, and I hated blind supplementation. I always supplemented with intention and purpose, but this brings that to a whole new level, because in the next few weeks, I will be breaking this down even more and creating a specific supplement plan or combination for this. And that will always change, because your body never stays constant. We're constantly moving. How I woke up this morning is totally different than how, I'm going to be at the end of the day, because of everything that my body's gone through for the day. So I know it gets complicated. So send me questions if you have any questions. I'll be breaking this down, and I haven't even got into my thyroid, because my mineral analysis test just drives home the fact that I'm stressed. And I don't mean stressed like, I'm losing my mind stressed. My body is stressed. And one of the things that is making it stressed is the fact that I have no thyroid. So for 32 years, we have been supplementing with synthetic thyroid hormone. I am not breaking it down and using it properly. That has always been shown in my blood work. And that is most likely contributing to my stress, my physical stress. And we're going to be working on that and changing that up. So it's going to be an interesting couple of months as I start breaking down all of this. Again, save it if there's anything interesting. If you know anyone without a thyroid, I think we're few and far between anymore, but this is really going to be interesting, because I'm going to be breaking up my thyroid medication to make it a little easily absorbable and better used for me. A big thing we're breaking down over the next several weeks. I will be talking to you all soon. Happy 4th of July, and I'm here for any questions. I'm an open book. Bye.